Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. Now, I want to talk about Coinbase, listing Cardano, VET, ICX. I'm going to talk about why they don't list them or why they're taking forever to list them, and the reason behind them listing all the ERC-20 coins. And it has some to do with the recent XRP saga. Now, for those of you that don't know, Coinbase is being sued by certain investors for offering XRP as an unregistered security, or possibly offering XRP as an unregistered security. But it goes further than that. Like, even before this lawsuit came up, they had reasons not to list like VET and ADA, and while listing ETH and a lot of their ERC-20 coins. Now, Bitcoin and ETH were given the clear, supposedly before, by the SEC. Obviously, that clears the way for them to list Bitcoin and ETH. And obviously, like all the Bitcoin and ETH forks, they think follows the same rule because, like Litecoin, BCH, ETC, they also listed. So those are some of the first coins they listed. So since they thought that BTC and ETH were not securities, they could actually list them. So far, that's been right. I'm not really sure if that's going to change or not. And the same logic flows with all these proof of work hard forks. Now, the thing about XRP is they took a long time to actually list XRP. I think they probably asked the SEC, and the SEC gave them an ambiguous answer. But because of competition from overseas, they probably decided to go ahead and list it anyways, based on whatever other information they actually had. And now that's sort of coming back to backfire on them, pending the results of a lot of random litigation stuff that I'm not fully understanding of, because my expertise obviously is not legal matters. But the other reason is, like, they're listing ETH is because I think Coinbase has a large investment in ETH, and they want ETH to really succeed, and because they have a large investment in the actual coins. The thing is, I think they may have the logic as well that since Ethereum is not a security, then all the ERC-20 tokens shouldn't be securities either. I think that's a very, very bad logical assumption. But I wouldn't really, aside from just like pumping up their own investment, which is definitely possible, I don't really see why they would actually list all these ERC-20 coins all of a sudden. I mean, they do want the fees off of DeFi, but they should know that these DeFi coins have a very, very high risk of turning out to be securities. So like listing these ERC-20 DeFis instead of like VET, ADA, ICX, or coins like that, I think, like, from a legal standpoint, doesn't really make all that much sense, unless they really believe that since ETH is not a security, none of these ERC-20 tokens will actually be securities. And I guess that could be their legal reasoning, although that would be an extremely shaky one. Obviously, the other thing is, like I said, they have a big investment in ETH. They actually have a big investment in ETH, and they know that, like, supporting these DeFi coins, A, is going to get them a lot of fees because it's going to FOMO, and aside from that, B, like, it pumps up the system of ETH and makes ETH worth a lot. So they are so it actually benefits their own investment in the long run. BTC doesn't really have DeFi on it, so they can't really do much that for BTC. But I bet if BTC had a bunch of DeFi projects on it, they'd probably list it as well. Either by the logic, like I just said, that BTC is not a security, so all those other coins are securities, or just because they have bought a lot of BTC and they want to pump BTC price up. Same thing for ETH. Now, this lawsuit is going to hinder all these other future listings because of what's actually happened with XRP. Now, there are like some suggestions that, like, since they own a lot of ETH, they don't want Cardano or DOT. They don't want to list those because they might challenge Cardano and DOT, and that might actually make their ETH investment go down in value. I guess that could have some validity, but especially after this lawsuit, and even before, like, none of these other coins besides Bitcoin and ETH were actually given like the clear by the SEC, so they actually had definitely reservations to list it. And XRP, I think, like, probably just the demand got a little too high for them to actually ignore back in 2019, so they listed it. But since this lawsuit came up, and it can actually cost them thousands of dollars, or not thousands, millions of dollars, tens of millions possibly, from a lawsuit and damages, they're going to be even more hesitant to list ADA, ICX, and VET unless they get clarity from the SEC. And if they do, then obviously these people can't actually sue them. So that's why, like, a lot of people think that Cardano is going to get listed after, like, Alonzo, or after, like, DeFi comes out and everything is through in Q2. But that may not be the case because of the pending legal allegations. Same thing with VET. I mean, like they say, like VET version 2.0, that's when they're going to list it. But that's not necessarily true either because of the pending legal allegations. And I think this like XRP debacle right now is going to make them even more careful about listing more coins in the future. I don't really know. I still don't 100% understand why they listed all the ERC-20s, because I think those are more likely to be securities than these major coins. And I don't think the logic flow follows that just because ETH isn't a security, those things aren't actually securities. I think like the SEC will see basically the opposite way, because a lot of those are just basically ICO securities. Not really sure about DeFi itself. Maybe they have some kind of inner workings. I'm not really sure. But right now, like for these major other mainnets, because of the whole XRP debacle, that is a major reason that Coinbase is not actually listing them. And the thing is, Coinbase might have known that XRP status wasn't really like nailed down, and they might have just taken a guess. But the thing is, like maybe these other mainnets just haven't gained the popularity that Coinbase feels like they need to list them. I think ADA and DOT are actually going to change that. Maybe VET too. Once they come out with DeFi, if they actually see that these DeFis are popular, they may actually list it. But however, since they have not listed BNB yet, and Binance.us has actually listed BNB, that also may be because of competition between the two exchanges. They may not do that for ADA and DOT either until there's vast regulatory clarity. So I think like Gemini's approach actually makes more sense. If you're not going to list any of them, then you shouldn't really list any of them. But Coinbase, like took a gamble on XRP, didn't really, it looks like it's not paying off right now for listing them. So they're going to be much more careful in listing other coins, unless like Ripple outright wins the lawsuit, which I don't think is a huge possibility. I think it's going to be either a settlement or something like that. I don't really know the terms of the actual settlement. So that's my spiel on why they decided to list XRP in the past and haven't listed any of the other coins, and why they keep on listing ERC-20s, and why they may not list all these other coins that we like for quite a while. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.